I poured the whiskey in here.
Very nice. That is going to pour all over your pants. I stand corrected.
Smell that.
Oh. Smells like summertime.
It smells like blueberry waffles.
Yes, it does.
If this doesn't become a cold open, I'm going to be very upset.
Howdy.
Welcome. Sláinte.
That's my thing.
Cheers.
Sláinte, although I'm just drinking water. It's hot out.
It's hot out.
And I need to be hydrated.
7 p.m.
Yep. Latest attempted almost 7:30 actually.
We've definitely tried later.
I don't know, but regardless. How's it going, guys?
Howdy. As we've already said, my name is Josh.
My name is Andrew.
And this is What If We?
Or today we asked the question, what if we tried moving?
I think before that, though, how you doing, bud?
I'm good. So we should preface this by saying all the content that you have seen so far from us was recorded prior to us actually launching.
It's about like a month and a half old.
Yeah.
So episodes 1 through 4 that have come out, they're all about a month old. So this is our first time recording.
As technically podcasters.
Yeah, so now we've started Facebook, Instagram, all those things. But, you know, we're kind of in this unique space where we are, you know, trying to get this started and everything like that. And so
that's kind of our inspiration for the topic of moving, because we have a lot of transitions happening right now. As you can see, we have a different backdrop.
I'm at a new house.
Josh is living in a new house. He's rooming with some guy that he found on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook Marketplace.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
so
pretty chill.
He'll be here for a year. Why don't you tell everyone what you're up to in the past month?
So this last month I started my new job. Oh no!
We are professionals.
Hello. We are professionals. This is just low budget podcasting. Oh, now you want to clip? Wrong direction. What? The clip is broken.
It's not broken. Oh, you might just broke it.
I'll just hold it. The whole time.
Okay.
This is fine. So.
You're part of the Catholic Spartans.
Yes.
Green.
So, go green.
Go white.
I've officially started my new job. So as of July 8th, I've started a new job at St. John's Catholic Student Center in East Lansing. And so I'll be there as the associate campus minister, kind of working with organizing small groups, intramural sports, Bible studies, other events, planning retreats, things like that. So primarily we're working with a group called Evangelical Catholic, where we're organizing things like, you know, small groups with the idea of like it's launching off small mission communities. So students will have a time of formation before they're sent out as small group leaders in their various neighborhoods and communities around East Lansing, at MSU and stuff like that. So I'm very excited. This is something that like I'm very happy about.
Like, yeah, this is the most excited I've seen you for a job in a very long time. Like this is you're in your element finally.
No, this is great. I've always wanted to do campus ministry, and like I've kind of done it in the past, but it's never been like the full-time job thing. So now
and now you're doing it at a great university.
Yeah, I'm very happy. So love my coworkers; they're great.
Nice, and you got the new digs. Things are looking up for Josh.
So what about you?
Well, we officially closed on our house. We'll be hopefully moving in about a week. That's kind of TBD, but that's the current plan. I've been told explicitly by Father that I'm getting a raise, so
whoop, whoop.
That hopefully means full-time work, full-time pay, all that fun stuff. We're having a conversation about that in a week. Trying to think if there's anything else. I've got new shoes. These are old. Josh gave me for Christmas, but I'm wearing them because it's finally summertime. So I got my Jimmy Buffett Crocs.
Stay tuned for a Jimmy Buffett memorial episode.
That will be happening. I don't think a whole lot else has really happened since on my end.
Not really. So collectively, though, I feel like we need a quick state of the pod.
Yeah, let's do a quick state of the pod. I think we should try to do
these. All right. So quick state of the pod. So if you are a follower of the pod, that probably means you're one of our family or friends.
Yeah, I don't
Which
think we have
we're-
any new members. If you do not know us personally, though, please throw a comment on one of our various social medias to say that you are, because
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. So one of the things is that we started a variety of social media pages. We have a Facebook, an Instagram, a YouTube. We're also on Spotify and Apple Podcast.
Yep.
And so we're trying to. I don't think we're trying to make this a money making endeavor.
no,
If it makes money, cool. But we're just kind of. I think we just wanted to do this for fun.
I think it's kind of a thing.
Yeah, this is just like an us for fun thing, and
This is something we've been talking about. Like we said in the first episode, like what if we started a podcast? This is something we've wanted to do for a long time.
yeah. So we'd like to though engage with as many people as possible.
Yeah.
So one of the best ways to be able to do that is by having people like, follow, share, subscribe. So
Comment, especially. That way we
Yeah.
actually have a way to interact with you.
yeah, we'd love to interact with you.
We got our first comment on our website. My Uncle Dave posted a thank
Shout
you
out Uncle
comment.
Dave.
He posted a thank you comment on a Thoughts and Musings that I posted that featured him as part of it. So
Yeah.
that's our first comment.
Yeah,
on-
we've gotten
that part.
some in-person / personal reviews.
Yep.
So like my mom last week's episode. So this will be coming out this. What day will this be coming out? August 8th.
Yeah.
So this will be coming out on August 8th. For the episode that
Sorry,
just
9th.
August 9th. The episode that just came out on August 2nd, my mom, she sent me a text message, and she had just been visiting. And she said, I think that the episode about y'all talking about being teachers was the best episode yet. And she was really happy that we took a positive spin on it, because she knows like where my mental headspace was. I'm sure your family knows where your mental headspace was with teaching and everything like that. Teaching is not an easy job. It's a very thankless job.
Yeah, it very much is, as we
in
said
many
several
regards.
times.
So the fact that, we were able to spin it in a positive light and not kind of bash the profession or bash the students, but try to keep it to like, this is our experience. We experienced a bit of culture shock, and that's probably like where the grievances come from.
Yeah. But I think overall what we're trying to kind of get at is we really appreciate hearing the feedback. We've gotten some feedback from our episodes. So if you gave us feedback and you didn't see in the last couple episodes, it's because they were pre-recorded before we released everything. So we are trying to take that into account. Gemma, shout out to you for your lovely critiques. We're trying to make sure we are more conscious of the audience in that regard.
But I mean, the number one thing, like if you know someone in your life who thinks they would enjoy two straight white males sitting down in lawn chairs with their iPads, recording on a smartphone, with $9
mics.
with $9 mics, you know someone that would enjoy that. Please share it with them. If you think that we're funny, share it with your friends. I'm sure your friends have similar senses of humor as you do.
I'm at least funny to look at. Like
Yeah.
that's an option.
You can comment, you can like, subscribe, share, all those things that you hear in every average YouTube video.
Please leave reviews, especially on your favorite podcasting app, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever.
Even if it's like a critical review, we would love to hear, because we want to do better.
Our email is on the website. If you want to shoot us,
we do have an email. Yeah.
Yep. If you want to shoot us a message, we would love to interact with the people listening.
And we would love to hear about something that you'd want us to talk about. We're not experts in anything we've talked about. We are very much just two normal guys trying to live in an extraordinary way by going deeper each and every day.
Yep.
And so if you have a topic that you think would be fun for us to engage with and talk about, we'd love to hear about it. We'd love to hear about your experience and things like that.
Throw in the comments, shoot us an email.
Yeah. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you can always be notified anytime we go live with a new episode.
Mm-hmm. And eventually we'll get some more live content, shorts, all that fun stuff. We're still working everything out, but I think
we both started new jobs within the last 3 months, and so we're figuring things out. But
with that,
I'm excited.
I'm very excited. So thank you all for everyone who's been here on this journey with us. We really want to appreciate you, and I think that wraps up our state of the pod, state of us.
All right, great. So
with that, let's ask the question.
What if we moved?
What if we moved? Because you moved.
I've
moved.
You've moved one direction. I've moved.
You've done both parts.
Yes.
I did a full move. I'm just not in a permanent position yet.
So this was a topic that you wanted to bring up, because you are very passionate about moving. Like, you get passionate about moving the way some people get passionate about, I don't know, name something weird.
Sports.
Yeah. Like, for you, moving is the Super Bowl.
Move day is I think move day is like the playoffs. I think it's not quite the Super Bowl, but it's like the playoffs. Like I take it very seriously, and I have a game plan.
Yeah, very much. Speaking of game plans, I think we wanted to start actually with what is your game plan? What are some rules you have?
Yeah, so these are my Techness tips here.
Tip number 1.
So when you're moving, and again, let me let my qualifications here. I've moved myself 3 times now. Me and my wife 4 times actually, and I've helped you move from Oklahoma.
Yes.
I helped Brendan move up to Michigan.
Yes,
I've helped Diana move several times.
Yep. Did you? I mean,
I've been present for a lot of moves, and I have also learned from who I consider to be the master mover, my dad. My dad is
a legend.
Yeah, everything that I've learned from him. And every time I think I know something, he surprises me with new ways to do things. So shout out, Dad. So these are kind of like
Mr. Kurt.
My rules that I've learned from my experience and what I've learned from him. First thing is packing is the time to offload your unwanted things, not during the move itself.
Yeah. This, I think, is a huge one.
Yep.
So I have so many things that I probably should have offloaded in this most recent move. Going through my clothes, I probably should have downsized to like 10 polos, 5 to 6 button downs, and like I'll probably find on t-shirts. I just have a lot of clothing.
Yep.
And like packing is the perfect time to do that. I did throw out a lot of things. Like I moved into a fully furnished apartment. So like there were some things that just didn't come with me. Like I didn't bring pots and pans this time, anything like that. That all got thrown away. But yeah, I can assent to that.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's kind of like the idea is you have like that part, but also like if you something like I want to give you like, hey, I'm moving and you want my bookshelf. Don't wait until the day of the move to get you the bookshelf. Get that to them while you're packing, because that's one less thing you have to move and deal with during the move. You will make sure they have ample trunk space.
I mean, if that's the only time
that's the only time, yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, like okay, let's say I was going to help you up move next week.
Yeah.
And like the only time you're going to see me is like for the foreseeable future, right?
Yeah.
I can come and get it later or before, because we live so close. But like, you know, it's like, hey, I'm getting rid of this bookshelf. I'm already there. You might as well take it. But like, we had friends who asked us to come and help pack up their apartment. Like, and we were just packing and cleaning. That was the perfect time to like.
Yeah, that was the perfect time. Like
they offloaded a couple things to us. Like I took home some board games.
I got a really cool mug.
Yeah.
Shout out Cindy and Abby.
Shout out Cindy and Abby. Hope y'all are doing well. We miss you.
We'll play D&D again soon.
Come back to Renfest.
So that's first rule.
So first rule, I like it. Second rule, I think I'll take this one.
Yep.
Second rule of moving: get some boxes and some bins. Elaborate.
So, Brendan.
This one's for you.
This one's directly.
This one's for you, little homie. If you're not listening to this, I will be sending it to you.
So boxes and bins. So when I say boxes and bins, I mean trash bags are for clothes only, and even then, don't like
clothes and towels, bedding,
like bedding, things that don't
soft things
that can be condensed. That's what trash bags are for, and those are not
trash
or trash. Anything else should go in a box or a bin. It is easier to stack. You can maneuver it more effectively. You can organize things. It's just better and makes it easier to load things into the trailer, or however you're moving. It's just better. Please get them. I get that they cost a little bit, but they are beneficial for everyone involved in the move.
And if you are packing things, please make sure what you're putting in boxes and bins
needs to be in a box.
Needs to be in a box or a bin.
Not your pillows when you have a bunch of junk that could be put into a bin and kept more effectively. And also with that, kind of going between the first rule and the second rule, get your packing done before it's moving day. That's kind of leads into the third rule. Have everything ready to go. You don't want to be those people who are throwing things in trash bags as people are showing up. That's a shout out to Uncle Dave on that one. Story from that my dad told me about their move. But have everything ready to go. Like when I show up, if you say, hey, we're moving today, and I show up and you're still putting things in boxes and bins and things are like all over the place, that's you're not ready to move. We're not moving today. We're packing. Packing and moving are two separate things.
Sometimes, I mean, they occur concurrently depending on how much stuff you have.
Yeah.
Like if you were moving, like say out of your college dorm room.
That's one thing.
Right? Or even like a studio apartment. Generally speaking, I mean, there should be some things that are packed. But like, okay, I don't expect everything to be packed. I was hoping that in your last week of living there, you didn't pack your toothbrush and your toothpaste or
Yeah.
in your soap. Um, you might have a bag of clothes that needs to be thrown in.
You got your emergency bag kind of thing, like your
Yeah.
your couple days bag. But everything should be pretty much ready to go. Like I don't want to come there and be like, oh, we're packing, because having to pack and then move and then clean, because cleaning is part of moving. Generally speaking, that's a lot to do in one day, and especially if you don't have a lot of help, it could be rough. So please have your stuff ready to go.
If you can.
With that, if you can't, if you
Rule
can't do
number
much,
3.
yeah, we're on 4.
Oh, we're on 4. Rule number 4.
If you cannot do much during your move, everything had better be perfect the day of. I get it. There are some people who they are physically
Unable
to assist with the moving of their stuff. Physical disabilities, illnesses, and whatnot. Like especially if you're sick. I've had to help people move when they were sick, so they couldn't do a whole lot of the moving part. You have in advance when your move date's going to be. Have people come in advance and say, hey, can you help me pack? Specify that's packing, not moving. They're different. But everything should be basically ready to go. Because if I'm helping you pack up your stuff and I'm helping you move your stuff and you're just sitting there, I'm gonna get upset.
The hope should be is that you're done moving most things within an hour or two.
Yeah.
Into whatever truck, trailer. I mean,
because like for our move into the pod and everything like that, realistically, the big move day, we ended up having to spread over a couple of days just because of logistics and our unique situation for it. The majority of the move was done in 2 hours. Everything was loaded into the pod or in cars within 2 hours. We didn't have a ton of help. We had my family and we had a couple of friends come, and that was it.
Yeah.
But we were able to get it done in that amount of time because we had everything basically as good to go as we possibly could by that point. Most of the furniture was disassembled or ready to go. We had a plan. Be flexible. We'll go for there. So speaking of plan the layout for the packing van.
Yeah.
I'm a huge nerd. We got a pod for our move. I got the dimensions of it, and I measured every piece of furniture in my house.
And how well did that go?
It worked out well as far as I knew exactly how little space we had, which was not a lot. So I had to get creative the day of, but we had a pretty good idea of where things were going to go to make sure we had enough square footage, because we had enough airspace. Our volume was big enough, but our footprint was not big enough. So we had to stack some things, get creative. My dad again was a big help with making some adjustments last minute. But if you take the time to measure out your furniture and your big pieces and say, will this fit in the van that we have? It will make the move days so much easier, especially if you can give yourself a little cushion.
Yeah. So that was rule number 6, 5,
I think.
5-ish.
All right. Think about your exit strategy. It's kind of like the reverse of this. So when you're playing your layout, don't put all of the heavy stuff at the back.
Depends on where it's going. I mean,
yeah, don't put the heaviest stuff at the back. You want to be able to get into everything so you can actually move it out properly. You don't want to open the truck door and
when
everything's
you say
fall
back,
out.
you mean closest to the door.
Yes.
Okay. This is a good clarification.
Fair. But when you're putting things away and getting things out of the van, pod, whatever you're using, think about an exit strategy. How are you going to get back there to get everything, and how are you going to be able to get it out so that way you don't break everything?
Yep.
Most people think, how much crap can I stuff into one thing? Then you got to think, how am I going to be able to move this out without breaking anything? It's kind of like you got to think both directions with it. This one's one that I've experienced a couple of times. Ask a lot of people. Many hands make light work, but it should only be necessary people. Don't invite people who have to bring their kids or people who can't help, generally speaking. Now, if it's your first move, everyone, a lot of your family members are going to want to come help and see the new place and all that. That's fine. You're not going to be there's only so much you can do there. But if you have to bring your kids, you better have a full-time babysitter with them, a designated player. Like, it's a lot of work to have kids at a move site. When we moved into our first apartment, my niece and nephew were there, and it was like 6 or 7. I don't remember exactly what it was, but Ambrose was only maybe 2.
Yeah, Ambrose was baby.
And when I'm holding a 800-pound bookcase, because we have real wood bookcases.
I hope it's not 800 pounds.
It's ridiculously heavy. It's not 800 pounds, but it's super heavy. When I have a big, heavy bookcase in my hands, and I have a baby under my foot, and I'm yelling at him to move, it destroys my cherub-like demeanor very quickly.
And you're so charitable.
I'm so cherub-like as it is. So
yes.
when it's removed, it's even worse. So again, but ask a lot of people because you want the help. Many hands make light work.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And with that, assign duties. So I've got a couple. I've got the heavy movers, the general movers, and the cleaners, and then the truck man.
The truck man.
Why don't you talk about the importance of the truck man as you are?
I love being the truck man. So of those, 4 positions? The truck man is the guy who is kind of, the field general, your linebacker, your quarterback, who is sitting back there, and he's figuring out how to read the landscape and figure out where things go. All the planning and stuff, that's great.
Yep, that's as the mover, you're kind of the coach. The original.
But what happens when you need to call an audible because something doesn't fit? That's the truck man's job.
My dad was the truck man for our move.
Yeah, you have to have somebody who has a relative good awareness of like space, how things are going to fit, where things are going to go. Typically, the truck man, he doesn't seem to be doing a lot, but he's sitting there and he's thinking about, if I got to move this, where's this going to go? Is this breakable? Is this not breakable?
They're a little more stationary, but they still help with.
He's thinking through, what do I need next? He's the one that's sitting there going, I need the bed. First thing I need is the bed.
I need a cushion here.
Couch, cushion. Hey, bring me that box of whatever.
You got a bag of clothes, we can fit it in this bookshelf here.
Yep.
Things like that. That's the truck man's job. My dad was the truck man for our move. You're the truck man for Brendan's move.
Yeah.
It's one of the most overlooked but quintessential roles, really.
Yeah, and and so cleaners, they're there to make sure all the last minute things get done as you're moving room by room.
Yep, that's my general strategy is room by room. You've done the kitchen. All right, cleaners take over the kitchen. No one goes in the kitchen.
Nobody goes in the kitchen. Not to make a sandwich. Not to not to do anything. Bathrooms should be one of the last things that are.
You leave at least one bathroom until the end. That's always my rule.
Because
another little sub rule in there. But you have heavy movers and general movers. Heavy movers, people who basically.
Sometimes your truck man is also a heavy mover.
Yep, initially at least.
Because he's sitting there. He's like, the truck man will look at the truck. First rule being a truck man, you look at the truck and you go, what's the first object I'm putting in here?
Yep.
And it's usually something heavy.
Usually the washer and dryer.
Washer, dryer, maybe you got a couch, bed.
Yep.
Because you're going to figure out, what am I going to stack up against these things?
Yep. So basically, you're a general mover if you can't lift the heavy stuff, like my
20
desk.
pounds and under.
Yeah, even maybe 30. But yeah, somewhere around those lines. Like you're there to move just general boxes. Heavy movers, you are there because you can specifically lift the heavy furniture. Your first thing is you do furniture before you do boxes. Leave the boxes to the general movers. You take care of the heavy stuff because they can't do it.
Yep.
So assign those duties. Next, pizza and beer only works till you're like 30.
After that point, I need Parmesan cheese and Kentucky Fried Chicken and everything else.
Like if you're if you're gonna like help people like if you're gonna help people move, that's great. Like make sure you obviously feed them. Pizza and beer is like the standard. But once you get past that point, you either have to up your food game or hire real movers or put money in there because your pizza might be really good from that local joint, but that's not going to fix my vertebrae that I've been crushed by your equipment. If you hear random claps and stuff like that in the audio version, we're being overrun.
We're fighting mosquitoes.
Again, the perks of the outdoor pod.
So
yeah, pizza and beer only works till like 30. After that, either up your food game, add some money to it, or hire movers.
Yeah, you've got to think like time is money.
Yeah.
And while money isn't everything, you've got to think to ask somebody to give up their Saturday, to give up their Friday, to help you move. Like there will be people who do it out of the kindness of their heart, but there are other people who are like, I have a job.
Mm-hmm. This is my relaxation time.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna give up my Saturday for this,
mm-hmm.
or whatever it might be. So being able to say like, I get that. I'm inviting you because you're a good friend and I know that I can trust you on these things.
Yep.
I'm going to compensate you in some way. Pizza and beer, great.
Yep, that's obviously the minimum. Going off with the food, one break.
Un break.
That's not one break, and that's when the van is loaded. You get obviously everyone can take their 5-minute break whenever they need to, go to the bathroom, hey, I need a quick breather. That's fine. But your designated long break where like I'm going to sit down and eat food, everyone takes that at the same time, and that's when the van is loaded. Whether
That's when the pizza and the beer gets broken up.
that's when they get broken out, because if you do that midway through, you lost all your motivation. Whether you're doing a 1 day move where you lower everything in the van in the morning and you drop it off in the evening, the break is in between those two. The van has been loaded, you eat your food, and then you go to the location and unload everything. Or
2-day move.
2 day move, you have 2 breaks. One break per day.
Yeah. Even with the 2-day move, I think you can get away with 1 break, depending on, it's like, okay, pack the van 1 day.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you pick it up after work, you pack it.
Yep.
Everybody gets a break. Day 2, you're moving things out. Day 2, you're taking van, going to the next location, unloading things. But if you want to call, hanging out afterwards, a break, quote unquote.
Yeah, that's a little different at that point. But you should really realistically need 1 break, and that's 1 long break for everyone, and that's when the van is loaded. With that, though, you should have snacks and lots of water.
Snacks.
So have snacks.
Not beer. Pizza and beer doesn't get brought out yet.
Nope. If you want, everyone is entitled to 1 light beer, I believe. I think that during the day. Like, Corona was always my go-to for moving, because it's a good summer beer.
I'm in favor of the water while moving, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm a heavier dude. Water is vital to keeping your stamina and energy up.
Yeah. Everyone should drink water. I think that's for sure. If someone wants to have a beer while they're moving, I don't have a problem with that. It's got to be a light beer. But my pro tip is popsicles, those freezer pops, because you get especially the Powerade ones.
Yeah, I love those,
because you're getting electrolytes, you're getting some a little bit of hydration from that, but also it's cold.
Yeah, that's great.
So those are kind of like my general tips. If you got a moving tip of your own, please throw it in the comments. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Like I said, I'm not the expert. I'm still learning.
Andrew's definitely. I'll say this. And we're gonna get into the good, the bad, and the Josh here in a second. Andrew is definitely way more organized when it comes to moving than I am. I very much am of the opinion of I'm gonna get as much stuff packed as I can, but I'm also lazy.
And I will. And in your defense, packing is probably the least desirable job ever. It is the worst part of moving.
Yeah. And so I'm the kind of person, I'll have a lot of things packed, but then it's like, I don't want to pack anything more. I'll deal with this later.
Yep. But you own it, which I do appreciate. Like, you own that is kind of like one of your...
That's the fault of mine, and I'm not even going to deny it.
Yeah.
So let's get into the good, the bad, and the Josh.
Yeah. So good moves that I've had. Obviously, the ones that I've done, I think were pretty good. So I'm going to quick story time those.
Yeah.
But, I think this move was probably the most interesting. So I'm going to kind of talk about that one. We had to use a pod because we have to put all of our stuff in storage. Our landlord didn't give us he basically said you can't do month to month, and he said we could, but it was too late at that point. We bought a house, but we didn't own it yet, and our lease was up, so we had to throw as much stuff as we could into a pod. So Miriam, being the queen that she is, she was the packing queen. She got so much stuff packed in those 2 weeks. I was working the whole time.
And she was on summer vacation.
She's on summer vacation, so she sacrificed her time to get that done. But it was... The main movers were me. I was the planner. My dad was quarterback. He was the truck guy.
Truck man.
Then we had Matthew and Cole and myself as kind of like the heavy movers. Mm-hmm. You were invited. You unfortunately decided to have your body shut down 2 days before and just continued to shut down. And,
it's still shutting down.
Yeah. Brendan decided to not be
in the state of
Michigan. The state.
After you helped him move.
Yep. We'll get into that in a second. But then Brittany, Miriam, and Michelle were kind of our general movers. So and Steven as well. Steven kind of flexed between heavy and general. But it was a very efficient. I had a plan.
We had the right number of people to be there.
Yep. Any more, we would have been running into each other. Any less, it would have been a little bit more difficult. But I just kind of had a plan. I gave my dad the list of all the furniture. I said, this is what's got to move. This is the footprint it's going to take up. And he just kind of said, all right, I need this. And we just Miriam and Brittany really quarterbacked the general move very well. They were making sure to get boxes moved. My mom was having some health issues, so she was there, but she wasn't able to do much in the way of moving. So she did some help with the cleaning. But she was, making sure people got pizza, make sure people got there was drinks, stuff like that.
You always need a mom.
Yep. Oh, a mom is a niche role. If you can get one, it's always good to have out on a move. But no, it was just, we were very efficient. Like I said, a little under 2 hours for a pretty big house. And Miriam and I have a lot of crap.
Yeah, good. It was a good move.
And we had to do everything up pod. So all furniture went in the pod, and then whatever extra space we had, obviously threw stuff in there. But Brittany had her truck. We had my car, Michelle's car, my parents' car. We actually moved stuff ahead of time. So like we had a guest bed that my parents are putting in their house. We're swapping beds, so they took the bed ahead of time. So I was just proper planning.
And you can do that when you live that close,
Yep,
right?
it worked out really well. We took advantage of the resources we have. Obviously, that doesn't work for everyone that way, but I will say, pod was a really good solution. Would have been better if we could have moved in the time frame we wanted, but that's not on them. That's on us. If you're moving someplace, but you don't know exactly when you're going to be able to move to the new place, pod's not a bad idea because I think I'm a big believer in one-touch movement. Pick things up, you drop it where it's going to be. You don't move it. You move it as little times as possible.
Yeah.
So like doing a moving truck and then a storage unit is a lot of work.
That's a lot of work for very little reward.
Yeah, it does. The savings are actually not as much as we were hoping for, so that's kind of why we went with that. But
Yeah.
it was a very effective move, and it worked out really well for us. We're in a good spot right now, and like I said, hopefully we'll be moving in about a week.
Yeah. Great. So that was the good.
Let's look in the bad.
I feel like we just got to go with one here.
Yeah,
And we've already mentioned it, so we might as well just stick with it.
Yeah, let's do that.
So the bad.
And bad is almost too strong a word here. It went pretty quickly.
Yes, but it was definitely like chaotic.
Stressful and chaotic, yeah.
So we love you, Brendan. We want to preface this.
Yes, we're happy you're in Michigan.
We are very happy you're here. Please spend more time with us. But
you were a ball of stress the entire time.
And that stressed me out, and that stressed Andrew out, and I'm sure everyone else, and we get it.
I think one of the things that he did that was a good move, he said, Andrew's in charge. Which I'm not saying that just, is he knew his point. He knew like where his limitations were. He said, you've done a lot of moves and you're not family, so you can be in charge and tell my family what to do, and then I can get mad at you, basically. Which I thought was, okay, that's pretty smart. But even with that, very stressed. And when we got there, let's go through the rules real quick. See what was what rules did he break?
Okay, hang on. I gotta get the
boxes and bins. Brendan decided that boxes and bins are for rich people. And decided to send his brother out halfway through to get more garbage bags.
Yeah, so a lot of things were in garbage bags, which, I mean, he didn't have that much stuff. He wasn't bringing large furniture.
He was basically the equivalent of a studio apartment, I would say.
Yeah, and so it did end up working out to where the bags weren't a super big hindrance.
It was just a lot of random stuff that, if he was going to do bags, should have been bagged before we got there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of throw this in a bag, throw this in a bag, throw this in a bag. Like, again, day of, throw in bags. It creates chaos.
Which, to defend him on that point, as somebody who's done this in the past, he was working up until the very last day from an at-home job, but he was also a student finishing up his degree.
Yeah, he had a very tight timeline. So, like,
and family was in town.
There.
Yeah.
Let's see. Vegetarian subs, I think, was this wasn't a rule, but he had the audacity to even include vegetarian subs as a food option. And by the time I got to eat, that's all that was left.
And he had it at the very beginning.
Yeah. Yep. He's like, oh, we have food right. No.
I want to pack.
The van loaded.
Yeah, I want to pack. I want to get this done. Plenty of snacks. We had water.
Plenty of snacks and water. He kept the AC on. There was some miscommunication about certain pieces of furniture. But overall, when we say bad, it was stressful. There's some chaos, but I think it went overall.
Exit strategy was fine.
Exit strategy was fine. I think he was smart enough to get a good sized truck.
Yeah.
To make it work.
It wasn't like there was anybody that was unnecessary people.
We had there was a couple of people who were standing around, but it was kind of
we were at a loss of what to do.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do when it's your family. Plus, I invited a couple people to help move. Finding room for everyone is difficult. The cleaning was kind of awkward, I think.
Yeah.
We didn't get to do again. I like to do very clean cuts on, like, all right, we can close this door. No one goes in this room. And again, that's more the nature of the house that he was in.
One thing I think that was perhaps egregious on his part is, and I get this, he was working up until the day of the move. If you need to take something apart, that needs to be done well before the move out day.
And take pictures.
Yes.
Because then on the move-in day, assembly becomes an issue.
Yes. And then you just tell him, you're on your own, bud.
You're on your own, kid. You always have been.
That's the bad. Let's talk about something that has bonded us for life.
Yes, the Josh move.
The trauma bond.
So we mentioned this a little bit in episode 1. that there was a long move from Oklahoma. It's summer. I'm working at ADP. I tell my coworkers, "Hey, I'm flying down to Oklahoma to help my friend move." Like, wow, you must really love this guy. I said, well, he's moving up here because of me. I might as well. No, it's only right that I help him pack up and move. And you, for your part, had done a lot of the prep work ahead of time. You got the van, you knew you got the trailer, you had loaded your car up pretty well to basically act as a trailer.
Yeah, my car was loaded to the nines. A lot of things were packed.
A lot of stuff was packed.
There was a lot of things that weren't packed as well.
But you were planning on getting that done
before you arrived.
Yep. I was supposed to fly in. I was supposed to fly in around 8-9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Was supposed to make touchdown.
I thought it was closer to like 11, but.
I was originally supposed to be 9 o'clock.
Okay.
And I got pushed to. So I fly into Dallas, and then I'm supposed to fly to Lawton, and my flight gets delayed a little bit. I'll let you know.
It's fine. Yeah.
You're like, oh, sweet, I have even more time to pack. 11. It gets to time delayed till 11, and then it says your flight has been delayed till noon tomorrow.
So,
which completely destroys our timeline.
To give some reference to mileage and time in the state of Texas, we don't measure things by how many miles. We measure things by how many hours it takes us.
We also do the same thing in Michigan, but for different reasons.
From Lawton, Oklahoma to Dallas, Texas, it's about a 3-hour drive,
give or take. Mostly give. It's usually a little more.
So Andrew tells me this. I'm like, cool, you're going to be sitting in the airport for about an hour, bud.
Yeah.
And so I drive to pick him up, to turn around and drive 3 hours back. By the time we get back to Lawton, it's about 3 a.m. And I said, we will deal with the rest of the packing in the morning.
It already is morning.
Yeah. I have the truck until Monday after we finish moving.
Might have even been Tuesday.
Yeah. We had time, so I was like, let's not stress out so much.
Yeah. We just wanted to make sure we were done so we can get to Mass. Because originally Maps said it was going to be about a 21-hour drive.
So we were like, as long as we make it to Sunday Mass. And I was even like, if we have to go to Mass somewhere while we're driving, so be it. So,
but we also have that never say die attitude.
We both are stubborn.
Yes.
So we wake up after about 4.5 hours of sleep.
Not even.
And we finish packing up my apartment, cleaning it,
the whole thing.
We get to leave by about 9 o'clock.
9:30, I think, is about time.
Which isn't bad. It took us about 2 hours to clean the 2-bedroom apartment.
Yep.
Everything like that. So we get in the truck. We're pulling the car behind me on a trailer. Load the trailer.
And this is my first time driving a box truck like this.
I had driven a box truck when I was working for Chick-fil-A at the time.
Yep.
And so
I almost never had experience with the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer was. I did not have a lot of experience with that particular, because it wasn't like a trailer where the car goes all the way up. It was just a 2-wheel dolly.
Yep.
So we get everything loaded. We hit the road.
And we're again, we have the attitude of screw it, let's do it.
Yeah. So we were just going to drive all 21 hours, and this is on a Saturday. We would get to Andrew's house on Sunday at like
7, I think is what the original time said. 7 a.m.
7 a.m. No, that's when we got there.
Oh yeah, it was like 11 p.m. midnight,
so
something like that.
So we could get a few hours of sleep, go to Mass, worry about unpacking later.
Yep.
So
our idea is all right, 3-ish hour shifts, because usually I can do about 4 straight hours.
And that gives us, and that allows us to stop, get gas, stretch your legs.
Yep.
If you need to get some snacks, get some snacks.
Yep. And I will say, for our part, our drive, we did the best we could with what we had. We were good on snacks, good on drinks. We took the proper amount of breaks. What we did not account for was the speed.
So when you're driving a U-Haul truck with a trailer attached, you are supposed to not go over the, what is it? Is it 55?
55, 60, something like that.
55. So on a highway that's normally marked 70 miles per hour,
it's taking
you were driving
our time.
significantly under.
Yep.
And then we had to stop more than once because we heard chains dragging.
Yep. The straps fell off.
Straps were not holding as well as we had hoped. The car. And so there was a lot of things. And so what should have taken us 21 hours took us 27 hours.
And we were on about 5 hours less sleep than we originally had anticipated.
We did not have cruise control.
Nope, there was no cruise control.
There was no aux.
Nope, it was a weird Bluetooth that kind of worked, kind of didn't.
I got a Bluetooth adapter so we could use it.
Yeah, it kind of worked. We tried Tim called us and Brendan called us for a little bit,
Yeah,
but it was
we
very
talked.
difficult. The communication wasn't great. We
That's just box trucks in general.
Yep.
Though.
But the big thing was we were like we stupidly had planned we're not gonna we'll sleep when we're not driving. Whoever's not driving will sleep. We couldn't do it. It was
I mean, I got at least 3 hours one time, but
yeah, but like we weren't getting enough sleep where we could just keep the alternating. We had at one point we had to break down and say, all right, we're gonna snooze for a couple hours.
so we stopped at a Love's.
Yep, with the windows cracked.
Windows cracked, so we had a little bit of air conditioning. You good?
I have a big thing against wasps.
You're fine. It won't sting you.
uh
So air conditioning is off because the truck is off because we don't want to spend any more gas.
we stink.
We stunk to high heaven.
Yeah.
And we said, let's sleep for 4 hours.
We got about 2.5, and then the security car kept driving
Security
around.
car kept driving.
Which Miriam thought we were crazy. She thought we were going to wait till Monday. I said, nope, just get it done. Get it unpacked. Come.
Yeah, because you had to go to work on Monday, didn't you?
Yep.
And I wanted the help.
Yep.
To unload things. So it ended up being fine.
It was just a lot.
It was just a lot. And my parents probably have stories from this most recent move. They helped me move. That, things that they were like, we were hoping you would have done this, this, and this. I will preface, I am not a professional mover. I am not good at moving. I, in fact, hate moving.
It is a challenge for everyone involved.
But I think it's good to have this conversation.
Yeah, it's something that this is somewhere I can lend. Like, yeah, this is why I have my top tips, trying to help anyone's going, because summertime is the time to move.
Yeah, summertime is the time to move. I appreciate hearing these tips. Like, I think that this was a great educational video for me, educational story time for me, because it does give me some insight into, okay, this is how I could be better with moving and things like that. And so I'm happy that we had this conversation.
Mm-hmm. We hope that you, like I said, hope you enjoyed listening to this part of it. Throw a comment down about if you have a fun moving story, a horror story, or you have your own moving tips. We'd love to hear them and share them.
So let's take a little bit of a shift. Andrew, how are you going deeper this week? Or at this point in your life?
Yeah, so it's been a couple months since we've.
It's been a month and a half. All right,
yeah,
calm down.
It's been a month and a half, but so since our last going deeper, my big thing with going deeper is I'm professionally going deeper because I was told I needed to. I am learning to ask for help.
Yay!
I'm a man. I like to do things my way. I like to be self-sufficient, but I have learned that is not enough a lot of the time. Deacon Mike was very gracious to help me with the challenges of my job were like trying to figure out how to move from part-time to full-time work. And one thing he said is you may be able to make an investment in yourself. So you can show to Father Dave that you're making an investment in the job and in your own personal growth. So he said, you need what? So I basically said, what does that look like? Because I don't know what that means. I tried it for like 2 weeks to try to figure out what that is. What I did was not enough, clearly, because Father Dave was not impressed in that way. So I asked Deacon Mike, I said, what do I need? He said, you need to talk to someone. So I'm going deeper by asking. I asked him for help. I started spiritual direction.
Very nice.
He recommended the same person that he uses. And this priest, he's a guest priest a lot of the time in the Monroe family parishes.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Not that it's like a secret of who it is. It's just I don't want to make a big deal about who it is. But being able to talk to him and say, "This is where I am right now." I don't know.
Yes.
Like spiritually, physically, mentally, like I don't know what I need to do more to grow. I've hit this stagnation, and sometimes you just need that outside perspective of.
Mm-hmm.
So when I kind of gave him like the 35-minute spiel of who I was, because he doesn't know me personally, he's like, "All right, here's what you need to work on." And he gave me some really good concrete ways. He's very into practical spirituality, finding Jesus in the everyday. Like I never would have thought about these things. These are so simple and like in my face. How would I? He's like, sometimes you just need to ask someone and have them give you that help.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going deeper. I'm working on asking for help more.
Yeah. Good stuff.
How about you? How you been going deeper?
Taking long walks off of short piers. And by that I mean I've tried just getting out more and walking more. I'll talk a little bit more about this when we record later.
Yep.
But just like getting to be going on a walk and trying to just enjoy the present moment, like not doing anything. I mean, I'll go and pray my rosary,
Mhm.
but I'm not out here like listening to music, anything like that. Just trying to take it in. It's been great for like my mental health. Obviously there's physical health benefits. Um, One of my goals for this year, with the new job, is to actually try to walk every road, every sidewalk at MSU. So there's approximately 300 miles worth of sidewalk at MSU. So an hour-long walk takes me about right now 3 miles.
Okay,
It'll take me 100 hours.
that's not bad.
No,
That's a very doable.
it is. It is. And my goal is to pray a rosary as I'm walking.
So you're gonna sneakily bless the entirety of MSU.
Yes. I'm getting a giant map printed for my office to do that, so that way I can
That's cool.
fill it in with like expo marker.
Yeah, that's really cool. I didn't
yeah.
know that.
Yeah. So, see, he doesn't know everything about my life. He's learning new things about me as well.
So, when we're going deeper, we don't. This isn't that scripted. We have an outline, but that's about it.
So, so going deeper, just try to take more walks.
Take more walks. Time to yourself. I like it.
Yeah. So,
Our call to action this week.
yeah. So one thing that we do at the end of every podcast is we try to get people engaged, not just with the conversation, but in doing something. Because part of going deeper, Jesus Christ says, "Come and follow me."
Yes.
He doesn't just say, "Come and listen."
Yep.
He invites us to
Get
engage
off the couch.
Yeah, and we are very much like disciples of Jesus, or try to be. And so, one of the things is going and doing something. So, this week's call to action.
There's a couple of options with
There's
this.
a couple options that we'll give you. If you can think of other ones, we'd love to hear it.
If you're in the process of moving, you're gonna be moving this summer. It's fall now almost.
Yep.
But we're in that time of transition. If you're moving, take the time, use the tips, write out a plan, make your move the best move it can be.
Yep.
Prepare for it. If you're not moving yourself, but you know someone is, take the initiative, offer to help. It is. As someone who's had to move a lot, it's a little awkward asking people to help you move. If you offer to help, though, it takes a lot of the weight off their shoulders. It makes their life a lot better, a lot happier.
Exactly.
It's a busy time. We get it for everyone, but try to do something that helps you move, help someone else move.
Yeah. Well.
So next time,
we would like to shout out before we go.
Oh, yes.
Our sponsor for this week's episode, Horrocks. We have here some lovely bacon curds.
Not actually a sponsor, but could.
Not actually a sponsor, but could be. We just went to Horrocks and we love it there.
Yep, that's
it's one of the best places ever.
That place is a godsend.
So thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Remember, like we
thank
said,
you for listening.
Please take the time, leave us a review, leave us a comment, share
follow, share, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can get
all those things. I know we sound like shills at this point.
We are shills,
but we really want this. We're not in this for the money, but we're in this because we want to reach as many people as we possibly can.
So
next time, though, we are going to ask the question:
what if we got some help and did self-help?
I mean,
that's not going to be the episode title, but what if we talked about self-help?
What if we talked about self-help?
All right, man. Cheers.
Slaunch it.
Prost.